everybody, welcome to In Stitches with Mary. I'm Mary and I am here to show you some cute ideas for making pincushions. You can turn just about any container into a pincushion and brighten up that sewing area of yours. To make this particular pincushion, I used a baby chick feeder. This comes apart and these are available at most of your local agricultural farm supply stores, or you can order online. This is for a baby chick for the feed. They also come without the top, and it's just more for water. What normally happens is a jar sits up on top of here and funnels down into the trough. But turning this into a pincushion doesn't really take any time at all. You're going to need some fabric, fusible fleece, a little bit of polyfill, some rice, and a hot glue gun. So let me show you how I put this one together. I first started by tracing around the portion where I want to put my pincushion, and this is where the jar would have sat, and then I added 2 inches all the way around. So any container will work. Just trace around your opening and add an extra 2 inches. If you add more fabric, the puffier your pincushion is going to get. You're going to want to cut this out of your fabric and your fusible fleece. Iron that onto your fusible fleece. Iron the fusible fleece onto your fabric, and then we're going to take it to the sewing machine and you're going to do 2 rows of basting stitches. Now basting stitches are much longer, probably about a 6, and you want to space them about 1/4 of an inch apart. Now if your sewing machine has a fixed stitch on it, you want to turn that fixed stitch off or select specifically your basting stitch. You don't want that to tie a knot or fix that stitch at the beginning. We want to be able to pull those threads up to gather that. You're going to bring both ends together. Don't overlap, but bring them together. So at this point, you want to grab the 2 threads that are on top. I'm going to say this was my bobbin thread. I'm going to put that off to the side. I don't want to deal with that. If you want, you could easily put a pin in here and wrap those bobbin threads around it so that they stay out of your way, and we'll just do that here. I like to do that, one way of securing those and they don't keep coming apart. And then you're going to grab the threads that are parallel to each other and start at the same spot, and you're going to just start to pull back. Now it's important not to try to pull too hard that you break your threads. So I like to pull a little bit, wrap those around my finger, hold on to the ends real tight, and then push this thread, this gathering back. I can pull some more and push that back, and you can start to see how this is going to go together. When I get about halfway around, I like to start at the other end and start pulling on that side. Okay? I want to show you next what that looks like when you get it all gathered. Once you have that completely gathered up, and I'm switching over to some different fabric here, you are going to tie all of your thread ends together in a knot to hold them in place, and then you can work your gathers back over to that knot so you don't have a gap in your gathers. So you can see I've gathered this up pretty tightly, and it makes a nice little poofy pincushion area. The next thing we want to do is to fill it with just a little bit of fiber fill. I just like the feel of that first. So we're going to stuff that in there and push that around. It doesn't take a whole lot. We don't need to put a whole lot in there. And then you would add your rice or whatever you like to fill pincushions with. Some people like to use crushed nuts, that type of thing. So you're going to put that in there. I like to use, I've got a little collapsible funnel that I keep nearby, and I like to put that in there and work that around and just keep pushing that rice down inside and fill that up. Since I'm working at a funny angle, I'm not going to do that right now. I'm pretty sure I'll have it all over. So I want you to use some imagination here and pretend I have the rice in there. The next thing I want you to do is to cover that with just a scrap of batting. Put that in there on top. That's going to hold that rice in place while we work. And we're going to add one more item, and that is a disc of some sort. I was actually looking for a canning jar lid, but because of the pandemic right now, they're really hard to find. And so I just cut this off of a piece of disposable plastic, like a butter dish, ice cream container, that type of thing. Cut it out of that, and then that's going to slide right in on top. And that's going to hold our rice and our stuffing. The next thing I did to really secure it is I put a bead of hot glue around there and pushed that in place. So now this is all secure. We're ready to add that to the top of our container. This is, I'm going to use the little watering dish here right now. Add a little bead of hot glue along the rim. You can hide it inside and then push this down in place and your pincushion is done. This is just really darling. There's one more thing I wanted to add. When I made this one, this particular one, I started to add my items inside and they were sliding around. So I added a little bit of shelf liner paper in here. And now when I go to add my items, they do tend to stay right where I want them to be. And everything is super easy and nearby. So this is a fun little idea as well. Here is another pincushion I've made a while ago. These were little containers I used at my son's graduation parties. I filled them first with a little bit of rock. These were just some glass stones that are used in flower arrangements. I put that at the bottom, filled it with some rice and stuffing, and then add it to the top. So there's lots of different ways that you could make fun little containers into pincushions. I hope you enjoyed this. The pattern is available right here at Neil's for just $5. Give us a call.